What is up, collectors? Coming back with another episode. Josh from Vintage Card Wonderland. Lately, I've been watching a lot of fun videos that some of my fellow YouTubers have made on the 10 most beautiful cards in their collections. And I thought that was really fun. I've made a lot of these kind of top 10 videos, and I've always been somebody that's been very focused on aesthetics and beauty and color and image and so forth. So I thought that would be fun to go through the 10 most beautiful cards in my collection. I'm going to link to some of my more favorite videos that have been done on this. You know, Greg from Midlife Sports Cards, my guy Aaron from Value Vintage, Cardboard Coach Neil, some other great YouTubers have made some videos. So I'll link to those in the description. One of the other things, John Wade Boggs fan made a video on the changes to YouTube algorithm that have, I'm sure a lot of people have noticed decreased views on their videos. So one of the things that I would like to experiment with to see if we can capture this new algorithm is, if you guys wouldn't mind trying to watch the video all the way through. I'll try to keep it short and to the point, and then giving a thumbs up or a like, and then even just leaving a single comment with your favorite card from my top 10 list, just to increase engagement, because I am legitimately curious to see if that in this new kind of revised algorithm that YouTube has, it makes any difference whatsoever. If it does, it'll be an interesting experiment, and it'll allow everybody to engage, and I'll try to respond to everybody's comments. So, all right, so without further ado, let's talk about the 10 most beautiful vintage baseball cards in my collection. Okay, so I'd like to start with some honorable mentions. You know, we as collectors, we have so many cards in our collection, we can never kind of always pick our favorites. So I'm going to start with the honorable mentions. The first is a 1967 Venezuela Topps Stan Musial from the subset of the 1967 Venezuela Topps Ritirados, the 50 all-time greats, Hall of Famers, and Venezuelan greats. This one from Stan Musial is just a beautiful image of him. It's kind of taken from the Rawlings photos that he had, but just him holding all the bats, a nice big bright smile, kind of combined with the vivid colors of this Retirado set, really make the card pop. So unfortunately, it did not make the top 10, but it came very close. So the next card on my honorable mentions would be also from the same set, the Roy Campanella. And this image was also kind of taken from the 51 Bowman, as well as, I believe, the Stallmeyer, the 53, of him throwing his mask off to catch a ball. It's just this kind of action pose with his catcher gear on. I just love it. And again, combined with the colors of this very vivid Retirada set, really make this one of the most beautiful cards. Next up, I think this would be a card that would make a lot of people's lists. This is the 1949 Leaf Warren Spahn. The Leaf 49 Leaf set has so many beautiful cards. I really love the vivid kind of orange color, the dark blue of the cap, and it's kind of like young, youthful look, and kind of slightly mysterious kind of glare and intense focus that he has. But I've always been someone who's been drawn to color, and so this is not only a beautiful card, but uh, I think presents very beautifully and very well centered, which is really, really hard to find in this Leaf set, particularly in the Warren Spahn. So it took me a long time to find this card in as nice a shape as I did. And so it was worth the wait, because, as you guys know, Leaf has a lot of registration issues, centering issues, color print issues. So very thankful to add that. This is another one that, again, probably made many people's lists. This was the 1954 Red Heart Dog Food, Mickey Mantle. Who can argue this is definitely one of Mantle's most beautiful cards, in my opinion, and one of my most beautiful cards in my collection. I actually bought this from a collector who, I was the second owner of this card. He sent away all the dog food labels himself. So that adds a little extra special charm to the card, given the history and the backstory behind it. But again, you got to love the kind of baby blue background, the bright smile on Mickey Mantle, and the overall pose and colors of the card. And then this is another, I think, a very nice example for a red heart, given the centering, which is a really, really tough with this set as well, is to get a nicely registered centered image. So I was happy to have this one in my collection. So that's the next honorable mention. And then the next honorable mention is the 62 Venezuela Topps Roberto Clemente. This is a very tough, rare card. Again, you just do not find Venezuela Topps cards in this condition. You'll maybe find most are going to be in ones. Maybe you'll have a two, but to have one as beautiful as this in a four, and just overall, I think the coloring of the card, kind of the tans and the browns, just very kind of just gives it a very kind of Cuban, Venezuelan, Puerto Rican kind of flair to the overall image and kind of backdrop. And again, 62 was a very condition sensitive set. So to find one with this kind of registration and sharpness is really, really tough. And Roberto Clemente, being a legend in the game and being really sought after from a Topps Venezuela standpoint, as he has a handful of cards from various years, I was thankful to have this one in my set. I believe that's my last honorable mention. Nope, one more. 1952 Topps Mini Minoso. Minoso's has a 52 Bowman with 52 Topps, but it's really hard to find these centered. Again, I waited for years to find a copy like this. And again, I love his image. I love the overall coloring of the card. You don't have a whole lot of cream-backed cards, and so that's what makes this one kind of special to me. I love the White Sox logo, his overall kind of look, and the coloring of his uniform and everything else in the photo, and obviously 52 Topps being a legendary set. So, all right, now let's go to the top 10, guys. These are the top 10 most beautiful cards in my collection. And again, when you watch this, let me know, leave a comment on which card you thought was the most beautiful. I think that'll be an interesting experiment. Even if it's a single word or what you thought about the video, just leave a very brief comment. That would be really appreciated. I'd love to know what you guys think. So number 10 is a 1909 E92 Crofts Candy Eddie Collins card. This is a candy company out of Philadelphia that these cards were issued with their caramels, caramels, whatever you want to call it. But this look of kind of a youthful Eddie Collins is kind of a little cartoonish, but I kind of like that. And I love the green background. And this is also a really tough set to find centered. It's a very rare set for that matter. And the backs have you can get them in red backs and black backs and blue backs. They have the Crofts Candy Company logo on them and writing. So it's just kind of a cool front and back of a card, and a very rare card and a very colorful card. So I think he has this image in multiple different sets, but I love this card for its beauty and its rarity. Number 9 is the 1967 Venezuelan Topps Winter League Isaiah Chavez card. Isaiah Chavez was a very prominent, a promising Venezuelan pitcher, and he was drafted by the Giants. He played only a couple of games, and I think he had some injuries. And he actually tragically died very young in a plane crash in Venezuela. So this card kind of has a little extra kind of allure and kind of story behind it for the player itself. And again, I just love these Winter League cards. They have a beautiful red back, which you don't see here, but all in Spanish. And then just to see him in his windup with the kind of on the field with the empty stands in the background, the colorful logo of this Venezuelan Winter League team that he was playing for, I think it's just a beautiful kind of action pose of him pitching, and a player who was gone too soon and who had a lot of potential that never got to see his true potential because of his tragic passing. Number 8 is kind of a twofer. This is the 1959 U.S. Topps Willie Mays and the 1959 Venezuelan Topps. So you can see the two cards are very different. Again, yeah, I just love the 59 set. It's one of my favorite sets out there. And I love how these two cards kind of pair with each other. Obviously, the 59 U.S. Topps speaks for itself. This is probably one of the highest graded cards I have in my collection of PSA 8. And I think it's well deserving of the grade, given the registration, the centering, the corners, all that good stuff. So it's just beautiful to look at. And then in contrast, next to it is the Venezuelan card, which, believe it or not, for a Venezuelan, this is actually a beautiful example. The back on this card is intact. And it's actually a very rare cream back, and because of the cream cardstock, it kind of gives the front image like a yellowish kind of appearance. So it's a nice kind of contrast to the US top. So I like kind of displaying these side by side. So these, again, the beauty of the color and the framing of the 59 set, I think I really enjoy. And I actually, also enjoy the image of Willie Mays. Maybe not my favorite image of his, but the colors on the card and everything about the 59 set, I just love. Number 7, 1954, Wilson Franks, Roy Campanella. Who doesn't love hot dogs, especially when you have a hot dog floating in midair above your head? Roy Campanella, again, I love collecting his cards. I just love his overall kind of pose, how he's kind of in the catcher's stance. He's got, kind of a cool look on his face, got the Dodgers uniform, he's got the floating hot dogs, and the coloring of the card I think is very cool. I'm also somebody that not only loves aesthetics and beauty, but also rarity. And so this card kind of captures all of those things. It captures a colorful card. It captures kind of some quirks of being a hot dog set, and the rarity as well, and a Hall of Famer. So who wouldn't love all those things? For the Wilson Franks, again, very tough with registration issues, with staining, being with the hot dogs. And so to find one centered like this with this kind of registration, given the thin borders of the card itself, is very hard to find. So that's also what I think makes this card beautiful. Number 6, the 1958 Hires Root Beer Test Set Willie Mays. This is a very rare Willie Mays card. It was issued in a handful of markets and kind of a test set in preparation for the actual Hires set, which, as you guys know, is different. It doesn't have the orange coloring. It has more of a brownish coloring and kind of a keyhole look to it. This was issued in a handful of markets, and again, so the population on these cards are very small. And I'm just a sucker for orange cards. I love bright orange colors in cards, and that between a beautiful smiling Willie Mays and a batter's stance, and just even kind of the grass or the dirt in the home plate right there, just in contrast to the orange color, and the black and white photo of him in contrast to the orange color, I just think is really beautiful. Again, these cards to survive, only a handful did survive, and to survive in the condition this one is in was very rare. So I'm happy to have this very nice example of this card. Number 5, this is a card I'm sure on a lot of people's lists out there, the 1953 Topps Satchel Paige. This is Satchel Paige does not have many cards, but this is, I think, by far his most beautiful card, the 53 Topps set. I love the St. Louis Browns logo. I love his image. I love the background, the trees, and everything about this card I think is beautiful. The clouds, the sky, and just his overall kind of artistic kind of look and expression. This card speaks for itself, and there's a reason why everyone wants this card. So to find one as beautiful as this, with this kind of centering and registration, I think makes it one of my most beautiful cards. Number 5. So let's go to number 4. Number 4 is the 1909 T206 Sweet Cap Ty Cobb Bat Off Shoulder. Ty Cobb has 4 cards in the T206 set. This was my favorite of his 4, the Bat Off Shoulder, just because I think it's the most colorful. You kind of have the different colors of the sky and the clouds in the background, and you have the grass and the stands, and then you even have kind of like, if you look in closer, that smokestacks in the background, just kind of that kind of industrial kind of look combined with the beauty and of the sky and the feel of baseball and the old school hat and him holding the bat. I just think the combination of all those things make it beautiful and very timeless and very much a piece of art. So again, my copy that I have is in a 2, and it's hard to find these centered with this kind of registration for a 2. This is a very high eye appeal too. So I'm very proud to have this in my collection. Number 3, so this is a prime example of how it may not be the most expensive card in your collection is one of the most beautiful. I had showed the Mickey Mantle earlier from the Red Heart set, and that certainly would be up there, but this card to me just speaks to me even more. I mean, the bright kind of green coloring, the Warren Spahn with a big smile on his face, a color on his Braves hat, and his jersey as well. It just really pops. And again, I can't speak enough about centering. I know everybody's out there, eye appeal centering, eye appeal, yada, 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 but this is a prime example of where if you have a nicely centered card with good registration, everything just everything just pops, and it really is just beauty at its finest. So I think this is a card that you just got to look at, and it's hard to look away from because it's such a beautiful card. And so to find a card with in this kind of condition for the grade that I was able to afford, I was very excited to add. Number 2, Hank Aaron, 1954 Topps Hank Aaron rookie card. This is a card that everybody wants in their collection, and for good reason. Just a beautiful card. I mean, that bright orange background, the Braves logo, the beautiful picture of the portrait of Hank and him fielding. Um, I probably had looked at maybe hundreds, I don't know. I can't even keep track of this card before I settled on this one because there's so many of these that are off-centered, that have print lines, that have registration issues. And so when I found this one, I think for the grade, I think it is just a beautiful copy. To me, it is really almost perfect. There's a little bit of the bottom centering's maybe a little off, but the side to side to me is more important. So when I bought it, that was really important. And this is just a card that I will have in my collection and keep with me. I have no need to upgrade it. It's just a card that makes me very happy. And Henry Aaron, for what he meant to the hobby and to baseball history and to me growing up, I had to find an example that did him justice, and I think I did that. So my number 1 card, guys, is, you guys know I collect Venezuela Topps, the 1967 Venezuela Topps Sandy Koufax Retorado. I think this might be one of the most beautiful cards in the hobby. It just really just grabs your eye. Sandy Koufax, the look of kind of squinting, the intensity in his face, his fist is coming out of the card. It's like it's 3D. It's coming at you. It's got the colors of the Retorado. This was, I believe, from a photo shoot he did at Candlestick Park, where he was demonstrating various pitches. And this is just such a beautiful card. And this is a card that's been run up in price now in the thousands of dollars. For a one, you'll pay 5,000 to 6,000 just because so many people want it because they recognize their beauty, the beauty of it. And so it's got very thin white borders around it. So to find one centered like this with even borders like that is very hard to find. There's a little bit of paper ad on the back of this card, but it's still fully legible. So it's largely intact. So this is a card I will keep with me as one of the crown jewels of my collection, as I really do think it is beautiful. So those are the top 10 most beautiful cards in my collection. And guys, please, I would encourage you, please in the comments mention your favorite card that I've listed here. What do you think is the most beautiful? What your thoughts are? I would really love to hear it because I think I'd love to know what you guys think are the most beautiful cards. And if you want to make a video, that'd be wonderful. Please share it with me. But again, please like, and if you like this content, please subscribe. And again, looking forward to making more videos in the future, and really loving my current trajectory of my collecting. And until the next time, guys.